JT Show.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Smash JT Show, my weekly episodic adventure discussing divisive issues in the video game industry and beyond sometimes. It airs every Friday. If you like what I'm doing here, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and let's just jump right into it. This week, if you've been living under a rock and not visiting Twitter, you probably missed everything, but there was a little bit of drama that unfolded between myself and Pat the NES Punk. So this video is to address where I stand on that situation and why I'm doubling down as to how I feel about it. First off, I made a video about Pat and Ian and their CUPodcast a few months ago. I think it was almost 4 or 5 months ago now. And it was discussing how they handled Activision Blizzard announcing Diablo, calling their fans a bunch of crybabies, and I'm not going to go too far into it. If you missed that video and you're interested in my stance on how they reacted, I'll put a link to it above me. As far as what's going on right now, I follow Pat on Twitter because I look at him as an influencer, somebody who has some pull in the gaming industry, somebody who has some say in the direction of where things go. So I'm always interested in perspectives of these people. Whether I agree with them or disagree with them has no bearing as to why I follow them. And the other day, Pat posted to Twitter, "Dear Twitter, one trending keyword concerning a vapid Kardashian celebrity breakup is more than enough on my homepage. I don't need 6. Maybe you could swap out a few for something I may actually be interested in. Tacos? Retro games? Otters? Thanks." To which I replied, "Looks like they ripped a page out of YouTube's trending tab, making a joke of how YouTube's trending tab is terrible." To which Pat replies, "Didn't you just do an attack video on Pixicle and me and said my career was over? Yet here you are following me. Funny how that works. Can't wait for another video where you say I'm a nobody who hasn't done anything. Those are fun." But if that wasn't enough, he went on and made another tweet saying, "Here's the video in case you need to see it. The highlight is probably at the 157 mark where good old JT says, 'There's nothing redeeming about me.' Really? Nothing redeeming? I make a mean omelet last I checked." I'm not going to go into the back and forth of the conversation. It's still on Twitter if you want to research it yourself. But the point of this video is to talk about opinions and how we're all entitled to have them. Even people we don't like. Where for me, Pat and Ian are more than welcome to have a stance against Activision Blizzard. They're more than welcome to act like asshats. I'm fine with that because that's not how I conduct myself on my channel. At least I try not to. I have had some instances where I went a little too far, but I try to reel it back in, and I'm learning as I go. As far as how they handle their channel and how they handle their podcast, that's all theirs. They can do whatever they want. I'm not here to tell them what to do. All I'm saying is, this is why I felt like it was a bad thing. This is why I feel like they're not really offering anything to the gaming community when they take this approach. That was the whole point of my video. I look at Pat and Ian to a certain extent as an influencer in the retro game community. For better or worse, that's what they are. They have a large following, and while it's not growing substantially right now, they have that following, they have influence. And my point of my video was basically saying, to those who are given great power comes great responsibility. And as an outsider looking in at them, I felt the need to say something, to speak up and say, hey, how you guys are handling yourself isn't cool, and it's going to hurt your channel in the long run. Which it has. And all I was saying from an observer's perspective is, I don't agree with it. You're more than welcome to have that opinion, not taking that away from you, just like I'm welcome to have my opinion about you. That's kind of how opinions work. And making this video is sending it out to you guys and saying, you're more than welcome to have an opinion on me, on Pat, on Ian, however you want to look at the situation. All I'm saying is, here are the facts presented to you. Do with it what you will. I don't have ill will against Pat and Ian or anybody, really. As long as you're not hurting somebody, do whatever the hell you want. My point is, I care about the retro video game community on YouTube. I care about video games in general. I want to see it pushed forward in a good direction with positivity. And yes, I contributed to some of that negativity. Looking back at it, I probably could have handled myself a little bit better. But as far as how I felt about the situation, that still stands. I felt like they were assholes. I still kind of feel like they're assholes, and nothing they've done has changed that perception. As far as where I stand on this, I'm going to move forward with my own channel and not worry about them getting me down and what their thoughts and opinions are. Like I said in my initial video about them, I have no intentions of watching them going forward because of how they handled themselves. And that is a repercussion because that's what they did. They're welcome to have that opinion, but the repercussion is less people are going to watch that if that's how you treat your audience, if that's how you act, if that's how you handle yourselves, like a child, like a man baby, treating people like they don't have intelligence, like they're not able to make up their own mind. That kind of approach is just not where I like to stand. That's why I made this show on Fridays in the first place, for situations like this, so that I can get feedback from the audience on any topic I talk about, so that I can learn from it, so that I can grow from it, so that the channel can become better over time, so that I can take into account everyone's perspectives and find out what's a good direction to go, while also combining my feelings on the situation and putting that all together and, moving the conversation forward into a better place. That's where I'm going to leave where I stand on the Pat and Ian CUPodcast situation. Again, I have no ill will against them. They're welcome to hate me all they want. All I was saying is I don't agree with their stance, and they're not really offering anything to the gaming community right now. And it is what it is. As far as the next topic I want to move on to, the smashing game of the week. And that comes to us on the Nintendo Switch, called The Observer. Now, this game already came out previously a couple years ago on the PS4 and Xbox One and PC, but it's a really good sci-fi investigative game. Yeah, the controls are a little bit wonky, but as far as the atmosphere, the storytelling, it's so enveloping. It makes you feel like you're a part of the game. And it's been a while since I played a game that took me away from reality like this game has done. So, check it out if you haven't heard of it. It's worth playing if you like psychological thrillers or Resident Evil type games that don't have as much jump scare but have a lot more scary psychological angle. It's worth giving it a shot. And that's where I'm going to leave this week's episode. Again, I want to say a special thank you to all the Patreons listed right here who help support Smash JT on a monthly basis with their pledges. If you're interested in joining them for as little as $1 a month, I'll put a link right there. If you still haven't subscribed to the channel and you like what I'm doing here, put the subscribe button right there. And if you missed last week's episode, I'll put a link to it right here. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing. Smash,